All right, welcome back to the Daily Facts. And today we're going to talk about the Ghislane Maxwell deposition release. And let's get right into it. So, this is from the Slatest. We crack the redactions in the Ghislane Maxwell deposition. Here's what it says about Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew. Plus, help us decode more names. So they're looking for some help. But we're going to read through some of this article and then we're going to take a look at the actual deposition document and see what juicy bits we can find. Okay, so it says here on Thursday morning, federal court released a 2016 deposition given by Ghislane Maxwell, the 58-year-old British woman charged by the federal government with enticing underage girls to have sex with Jeffrey Epstein and I would say other top officials, government officials, attorneys, so on and so forth, probably celebrities and everything, not just with Jeffrey. That deposition, which Maxwell has fought to withhold, was given as part of a defamation suit brought by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who alleges that she was lured to become Epstein's sex slave. That defamation suit was settled in 2017, and we know Epstein died in 2019. In that deposition, Maxwell was pressed to answer questions about the many famous men in Epstein's orbit, among them Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew, just to name a few. In the document that was released on Thursday, those names and others appear under black bars, according to the Miami Herald, which sued for this and other documents to be released. The deposition was released only after days of wrangling over redactions. Now, we know these documents are always heavily redacted, right? But if you stare at them long enough, you could probably figure things out. Or if you um, go to certain parts of the document and then you go back, you can correlate them, things like that. It turns out, though, that those redactions are possible to crack. That's because the deposition, which you can read in full, includes a complete alphabetized index of the redacted and unredacted words that appear in the document. For example, after cracking the redactions, we know that Maxwell was asked about an email that Dershowitz allegedly sent to Epstein. In that email, Dershowitz reportedly wrote that he was working on several possible articles about unfairness in the legal process that allows false charges to be inserted into legal documents. Here's how to deduce the redacted words using former President Bill Clinton as an example. Okay, so let's take a look. You can see in the index that a word that falls alphabetically between clients and clock appears on quite a number of pages. From this, we know that the word starts with the letters CL. Okay. The index indicates that the word shows up on the seventh line of page 135. If we go to page 135, we can see that in this instance, the word Clinton has not been redacted. Oh, what a sly way of figuring things out. On other pages listed in the same index entry, the word Clinton has been redacted. See page 104. The redacted word that appears before Clinton in these cases is president. The Clinton example is representative. Maxwell's most common responses in the deposition that she doesn't know anything and the accusations against her and Epstein are lies. Well, we all know that she would say that. But it's still worthwhile to see who Maxwell was asked about and how exactly she responded. Consider the example of Alan Dershowitz. The index indicated that there's a redacted word that comes after airport and before alcohol. There's also a redacted word that comes after depth and before describe. They figured out some ways to crack the code. And again, that's if you stare at these documents long enough, you'll figure that out. But we're going to take a look and sift through it real time. But let's go over to Virginia Giuffre's Twitter and see what she has to say, because she's an important figure in all of this. Okay, so here, Virginia Giuffre says, I'm very grateful to Judge Preska for her decision to unseal these depositions. This journey to justice has taken decades for my fellow abuse survivors and me, including years in which our voices were ignored. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein did not act alone. With more transparency, I am hopeful that all who helped perpetrate these heinous crimes will be held accountable. Finally, watch the draconian oligarchs turn against one another. As I've always said, Ghislaine Maxwell will only save her skin. A great victory for us. Thank you, David Boyes and Sigrid Macaulay, for fighting the fight and standing strong for truth. So, she's happy, as she should be. That deposition needed to be released, and it has, and we're going to take a peek at it. So let's go on over to this deposition given by Ghislaine Maxwell. All right, so here we are. This is the actual document. It's 465 pages, which, we're not going to read through all of that, but we're going to look at some of this. So, of course, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Virginia L. Giuffre versus Ghislaine Maxwell. This is case 15 CV 07433 RWS. And this was a videotape deposition of Maxwell. Okay. So it was taken on April 22nd, 2016 at 9 a.m. All right, so it says the videographer, we are now on the record and recording. This begins disc number 1 in the deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell in the matter of Virginia Giuffre versus Ghislaine Maxwell in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. All right, and they're just laying things out, date, time, and all of that. All right, this is Macaulay, Attorney Macaulay, just getting ready to explain the rules of the deposition. Great, great, great. All right, so they start it here. So it says, Ms. Maxwell, can you please state your address for the record? And then she gives that. And then the next question, when did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? Now, her attorney steps in. I object to the form and foundation of the question. I believe this is confidential information. I don't know. Why is it confidential? I mean, you're in a deposition to talk about your crimes. Jeffrey Epstein, what went down, Virginia Giuffre. I mean, this is your chance to, defend yourself. Why is your attorney stepping in? Okay, we have a question about her clarifying the address. And I guess her current address, and Ghislaine Maxwell says it's in the process of being sold. It still requires some final paperwork to be done. So just for the purposes of clarity, do you have a new address where you will be living? I do not. Okay, so you're out on the street, Ghislaine? I don't think so. You have somewhere you're staying. All right, so Miss Maxwell, when did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? First of all, can you please clarify the question? I don't understand what you mean by female. I don't understand what you mean by recruit. Please be more clear and specific about what you are suggesting. Are you a female? Is that the sex that you are? That's what, because Ghislaine is asking to clarify about her getting females. Come on, Ghislaine. This could take forever if she's going to be questioning words like Bill Clinton did about the. I am a female. That's what I'm referring to, a female. And I'm asking you when the very first time you recruited a female to work for Mr. Epstein. Again, I don't understand that. What female? I'm a 54-year-old woman. I'm not making it any age of a female that you recruited to work for Mr. Epstein. Again, I was somebody who hired a number of people to work for Mr. Epstein, and hiring is one of my functions. Okay, so she's refusing to say that she recruited females. Okay. As best as I can recollect, a woman the age probably of about 40 or 50 was in some time in 1992. How long did you work for Mr. Epstein? I started working for him at some point in 1992, and the nature of my work relationship with him changed over time. So from around 2002, 2003, the work lessened considerably. All right, so What were you doing then? What okay, the work lesson, what work specifically? Did you then just start recruiting full time? When you say 2002 to 2003, that the work lesson, when did you complete working for Mr. Epstein? When was the last time you were employed by him? The last day? I believe I still was doing helping him in a very nominal way, maybe on hour or maybe an hour or two a year at some time, 2008 and 2009. Did you ever invite anybody who was under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's home? Now, there's some objections. And then she says, I have a number of friends that have children and friends of mine that have kids. Oh, God, look out. I mean, I hope you, once you figured out who Ghislane Maxwell was, you didn't bring her or your kids around her. And in the invitation of my friends and their kids, I'm sure I may have invited some of my friends' kids to come. Anybody that is not a friend of yours? Any female under the age of 18, did you invite them to come to Jeffrey's home? Again, as I said, I am not aware of inviting anybody other than friends of mine who have children to the house. Did you invite Virginia Giuffre to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18? Virginia Roberts held herself out as a masseuse and invited herself to come and give a massage. Yeah. Oh, please. My question is, did you invite Virginia Roberts when she was under the age of 18 to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home? Again, Virginia Roberts was a masseuse. What does Virginia Roberts being a masseuse has have to do with anything? Did you invite her or not? And was she under the age of 18 is what they're asking. This is me injecting my opinion. I'm not asking if she was a masseuse. Exactly. I'm doing this real time, so this person's thinking the same way I am. I'm not asking if she was a masseuse. I'm asking if you invited her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home. Again, this is Ghislane. Hopefully, you're following this. Again, there would be no course to have a conversation with Virginia unless she held herself out to be a masseuse. I'm not asking that question. I'm asking if you invited her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18. I mean, this is a hard nut to crack here, this Ghislane. Again, I repeat, she was a masseuse, and in the form and as my job, I was to have people who he wanted for various things, including massage. She came as a masseuse. Well, did she come as an underage masseuse? So you invited her to his home to come to give a massage. Is that correct? Again, I did not invite Virginia Roberts. She came as a masseuse. Well, how did she come? She didn't just say, oh, out of thin air, I think I want to go massage Jeffrey Epstein. She had to be invited. She who invited her to come as a masseuse. She just showed up at the front door. Exactly. Miss Roberts held herself out. I'm not asking how she held herself out. I'm asking how she arrived at the home. Did you meet her and invite her to come to the home? Or how did she arrive there? Hmm. Miss Roberts held her Miss Roberts held her to be a masseuse and her mother drove her to the house. When did you first meet Virginia Roberts? I don't have a recollection of the first meeting. You don't. This is me. I'm injecting. Do you recall meeting her at Mar-a-Lago? Like I said, I don't have a recollection of meeting Miss Roberts. So you recall Miss Roberts being brought to the home by her mother. Is that your testimony? That is my testimony. And that is the first time you met her. Like I said, I don't recall meeting her the first time. I do remember her mother bringing her to the house. Are you a member at Mar-a-Lago? No. Have you visited Mar-a-Lago? Yes. Did you visit Mar-a-Lago in the year 2000? I'm pretty sure I did. When Miss Roberts arrived at the home with her mother, what happened? I spoke to her mother outside of the house, and what I don't recall is exactly what happened because I was talking to her mother the entire she was in the house. Did you introduce Miss Roberts to Jeffrey Epstein? I don't recall how she actually met Mr. Epstein. As I said, I spoke to her mother the entire time outside the house. Did you walk with Miss Roberts up to the upstairs location at the Palm Beach house to meet Mr. Epstein? I just explained. I spent the entire time talking to Virginia's mother outside the house, so the answer to the question is no. No, did you not walk her up and introduce her to Mr. Epstein? I just said no. Did you participate in a massage the first time when she first came to the home and you were speaking with her mother? She was in the home. Is that correct? You brought her into the home. I will repeat again. I was standing outside with her mother, so very difficult for me to do anything else at that time. So, no, I did not take her upstairs. Did you participate? Virginia lied 100% about absolutely everything that took place in that first meeting. She has lied repeatedly, often, and it is just an awful fantasist. So, very difficult for anything to take place that she repeated because I was with her mother the entire time. So did you give a massage with Virginia Roberts and Mr. Epstein during the first time Virginia Roberts was at the West Palm Beach house? Yes or no? No. Have you ever given a massage with Virginia Roberts in the room and Jeffrey Epstein? No. Have you ever given Jeffrey Epstein a massage? You're not to answer that question. This is her attorney. I don't have any problem with you asking questions about what the subject matter of this lawsuit is, which would be, as you termed it, sexual trafficking of Miss Roberts. To the extent you are asking for information relating to any consensual adult interaction between my client and Mr. Epstein, I'm going to instruct her not to answer because it's not part of the litigation and it is her private, confidential information, not subject to this deposition. All right, so we're going to stop there. I can go through more of this. If there's interest in it, then I'll come back and I'll read through more of this. But I just wanted to drop this and let everybody know that Ghislane, this has come out. You probably know, you're probably aware of it, and it is the deposition that relates to the trafficking and to Gouffre. So I'm going to leave it there. And again, if there's interest in this, I'm going to go through it some more and, we'll probably find more nuggets. This is the very start of it. So leave a comment below, give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And if you are, and I get enough thumbs up and comments, then I'll keep going. If I don't, and I'll give it some time, then I'll just leave it here. But you know that this is out there and you can investigate it and sift through it yourself. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for stopping by the Daily Facts. Do like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye.